Hi, everybody. It's Steve Olson. I'm back from my family business. I'm here with Wayne Steiger. Hi, Wayne.
Hello, Steve. Glad to have you back.
Thank you. It's September 22nd, if I didn't say it already. And obviously, there has been a lot of talk, Wayne, recently about the potential meteor impact or asteroid impact that was been hubbubbed about in the internet press lately. What are your thoughts?
Listen, I think that we're being bombarded by just an extraordinary amount of debris coming around, Steve, and I think it's overwhelmed the tracking systems. So none of this really surprises me at all.
Okay. All right, so a couple of things that I can say. I've got a couple of data points. I'm not going to say that they're great data points, but they're data points. Today in Anchorage, we noticed a lot of what would appear to be things falling from the sky.
That's always fun to hear.
Yep. Which, you know, it may indicate a successful mission. Okay, look at this.
I know, I'm not seeing your screen, Steve.
Oh, really? Okay, let's try that again.
What's going on here? Okay. There we go.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so this is the most compelling one from today that seems to show evidence of some type of activity that you might expect if you blew up an asteroid, you know, less than an LD away from your planet.
Well, you would have a pretty intense debris field, no doubt.
No doubt. I hope what we're seeing is a successful attempt to stop an asteroid. Is what I hope I'm seeing.
Well, I don't know.
It's nothing at all, right? The other data. Yep. Sorry, Wayne. The other data point is meteor showers reported across New Hampshire last night. And again, I'll have the link below, but I'll just say that that's just another data point, not saying anything is happening or isn't happening. Okay. We had a mysterious loud bang in Labrador, but that was on Monday night, posted today for some reason. So just, you know, kind of things that might indicate that we are seeing something going on, but I don't know. You know, we don't have enough information to just solidly say, yeah, this is what's going on. But I just wanted to also show everybody, if you haven't seen the, you know, meteor detection and radio astronomy type tools that are out there, basically these tools send a UHF signal up, and then anything like an ionospheric disturbance will be picked up in a ping, or a return will come back, and you will actually able to pick up and receive that in just using just normal radio technology. And today has been relatively quiet. We saw a couple of spikes, Wayne.
Yeah, earlier today, big ones.
Yep. So you know, I don't know what to say other than we're not. And then of course we had this Puerto Rico blackout, which was reported yesterday by several channels, and I'll just pull that up. I haven't even looked at Suspicious Observers or Ben's channel yet today, but my guess would be he would have attributed that to some kind of solar activity.
Yeah, yeah.
If I know Ben.
So do we have any idea on Solarscape as to the possible direction incoming of, you know, them trying to nuke a rock out there?
Well, here is something interesting along that line, and actually you are the holder of that footage, and it's from Jake. And Jake, we're going to give Jake a chance to present it on our weekend show, but he doesn't care if we share it. But Wayne, could you share that amazing footage that our research partner Jake put together?
Yeah, Jake is, man, I'll tell you what, just an honor just to, the guy is, Jake, you're doing a great job, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, so do you see this screen?
I do.
Okay. So Steve, so people are right. This is a disk. I mean, I think it is a disk. Our mothership is still there. It has not gone away. So we have a lot of people who, you know, we know where it's coming from. But Jake, you're right. Look what he catches going on at the bottom.
Right. There's plenty going on in the middle here, guys.
There's plenty going on. Look at this, Steve.
Are those the explosions from the Russian United States missions?
Look at this. I mean, I feel like Olive Guthrie. I'm sitting here on the Group W bench, and look at that. But everything, nothing to see here, folks. Move along. What is that?
Again, yeah, we don't know what it is, but I mean, if you when you're in this conspiratorial world like we are, we had a lot of reports of potentially the Earth trying to stop some of these objects that could potentially be that, Wayne, or it could be objects running into each other in that zone as well. One thing you got to note right away, though, is it's well below the ecliptic or the plane where all the planets.
Oh yeah. I mean, Sept is catching. Look at that. All right, lens flare.
Is that hitting a rock? Can you see a rock under there?
There's something right here, and in fact, there's a lot of somethings right here. Let me see if I can play this video, and let's see if we can really slow it down. And that might give us okay, let's go at 50%. Let's see what happens. Look at this. Let's go back and look at that again. Lens flare, lens flare. Look at this. One. Look at that. Let's go back and look at that again. I want to slow this down even more, Steve. Jake, brother, oh yeah, steak dinner on this one. Watch Popeye, see what, let's see here. Let's get it down. All right, so we have really got to slow this thing down. Look at that, Steve. Does that not look like multiple
explosions?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, people don't like it when I say the word explosion, but hey, there's an explosion.
Now look at this. Professor C, like you to take a look at this, and let's do it one more time for everybody, and let's just really get slow on this one. I think let's just slow it down to 1/10. All right, that's as slow as I can get it. So let's go back here. Here we go, Steve. And look at the mothership. Whatever that's deployed there. I mean, there's so much going on up there, but let's not get distracted. Like I'm a kid in a candy store. Oh, there's chocolate over there. Now look at this.
We want to focus in on these explosions, guys, because again, it seems to corroborate the story that we might be trying to destroy and save.
We'll get more into tonight. Now watch this. I'm really looking forward with Jake and Jeff P tonight. This is going to be a very interesting. Now look at the dynamics here. That's look at that.
So I guess this does connect to the asteroid meteor story in a sense, doesn't it, Wayne?
Well, I mean, unless someone can tell me what sun or what something is down there, don't give me the lens flare crap, because I'm not buying that cheese sandwich anymore. What's going on down here? There is something going down below the ecliptic of the ability for stereo to see. Yep. So, Steve, I think that there's something going on. Yes, sir, I do. And
so that's what we know so far about what we've been able to track. Track your media trackers like BP Earthwatch has links. You can go to his site and get those, or you could just use the link below for the one I use and check it out yourself and just kind of keep an eye on it. One of the reasons that meteorlive.com stopped being a reliable tool for me, though, Wayne, was we were getting those returns 2 months ago where it was just a steady return, and we think that we had a huge object close to the ionosphere, and we never figured that out.
Never did.
Never did.
We know it wasn't sporadic E. We know that. I just don't know what it was, Steve, and it was.
I think it was a Mercury cruiser.
Charlie, that's about my attitude as well.
Whenever we come to the conclusion on stuff like that Charlie just freaks. I mean, what's up with that? He's a great dog.
Well,
so,
you know,
yeah,
Steve,
we don't know. But here's the thing. It's amazing how all these things are clicking together. Now these UHF meter detectors are seem to be working just fine, getting what it would be a normal amount of signatures. We saw a couple spikes, like I said today. That's our news on. That's what we know about the asteroid today, or meteor, potential meteor.
Yeah, and I think that people just need to be alert. If something in fact did happen, look at that, Steve.
I know it, man. Look at, you can see the shape of something there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like the blast comes towards us.
And even if we put this into, let me just get this into a sharper image, and then let me take out as well. Let's get the, okay. Now let's run this.
And again, just for the record, the date is the 17th, I believe.
Yes. So I'm going to run this now. There we go. So this takes all this spatial blur out and just kind of gets it hooked up for us. So let's see what happens here.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Here we go. Now watch. All right. There's 1, 2. Watch. We're not done yet. Well, we saw 2 for sure in that one frame alone, Steve.
Yep. And again, I think that the timing, seems to match with this planetary defense story,
Listen, if there's a big rock that came in, I do hope that mankind possesses the type of technology, Steve, we could. And, maybe this is a case of Hollywood,
Deception.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So I don't know.
The reason I was skeptical when I first started hearing about it was because it was 23rd of September last year. Remember when we had all those hoaxers out there with their big videos and, remember that?
I do. That's, sometimes I wonder if that isn't false information or planting the seed enough for us to mentally prepare people. If you have an idea of where you've seen a picture before, it can have a impact on you for when you actually see something, right? Simulations. Steve, there's something out there, buddy. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. I don't know what our mothership, and I don't know what that is. Steve, we forgot to show people something. So let me speed this up. Let's get back to normal time. And I want to show you something. So Professor C told us, right, that we needed to keep an eye on something. I want to show everyone, pay attention to this line right here. Watch this. Did you see what happened?
Yes.
Look how it curved. It hit. Look at this. Look at that. There it is. Right there. Let me stop frame right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Don't
know. Well, here, why don't you come back to the screen?
All right, you got it.
And I also wanted to point out some what I thought were a couple of good videos that I think people should check out. And I have kind of a selfish reason for this one as we get over to me here.
Is it you?
Here we go. I'm taking it from you.
Take it, man.
Yep. Okay. So here's Jeff P. Right. So he's going to be on the show tonight. We're going to be releasing the show over the weekend if it goes long like the last one. But if it's a short show, we'll just put it up, right? But anyway, he caught some fantastic footage from the German cameras, which created kind of a revelation for him. And then I guess it reminds me, this video reminds me of the story of the, you know how the Brazilian, South American indigenous people, when the Spaniards first were coming in their ships?
Yep.
And we heard stories that they did not even see the ships because it was so foreign, so their cognitive dissonance was so strong, it was not able to see anything but the waves in the water till the men stepped off the ships.
Mm. Wow.
And even here's Jeff P., a guy that's been researching Nibiru as long as we have done and doing great videos. And he comes and he gets a revelation, and it caused him to change the way he looked right at the world. The cognitive dissonance, if you will, evaporated. And then he was able to go back and develop a pattern since 2014 on the appearance of Nibiru and ground plasma.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's what this is about. And we're going to talk to Jeff about this, guys. So we'll get an interview with Jeff and we'll talk all about this. But I'll just go to a couple choice parts of this video here. And what he was seeing, guys, was just amazing footage. Like, here's an example where Nibiru is visible in a couple frames up here, and then as soon as it's visible, you see this arc lightning going across the ground in different places.
Can you do that full screen? Yeah.
And I'll get my cursor out of the way here if you can. And there's another one.
Whoa.
Okay. So, and this phenomenon has been happening right along the same time, Wayne, that we've been seeing mass animal deaths.
Huh. Well, there would be a connection to that. And you know, the study of plasma is still an unfolding science.
Yes. Well, Jeff is going to share what he's learned on this Yep. He's going to share that, but I just wanted to give a heads up to everybody. You need to see this next one because Jeff does a great job. Or go see this. I'll have the link below. Just go check it out before we have our interview with Jeff P. And then you'll have a head start on everybody. Okay. So there's Meteor Live right now. We're not seeing anything that's too out of the ordinary.
Well, there's something in the back there. Look at that.
We are seeing chunks of stuff coming in, guys.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing. Chunks.
Yeah. What I meant to say was we're not seeing some huge object enter in and just scare the living bejeebers out of us. See, here's one right here. So we're seeing these like objects randomly flying into the atmosphere. I don't know if that means we're going to see a bigger rock at some point, but right now all indications are if this is a true story, it looks like they blasted the crap out of it.
You know, my mind reels at that, just trying to understand the dynamics. Wasn't the whole point of Deep Impact that what they found was that by putting a blast to an object, that what you end up doing is I guess their idea is that far better for it to be 100,000 little pieces instead of one big piece.
That's exactly right. That was the kind of the concept there, and they were showing the difficulty in instead of destroying it on the first attempt, they broke it into two big sections. The first section ends up hitting the Earth and killing a bunch of people, right? So that was like a major NASA screw up right there, man, in the movies, right?
Yeah.
NASA being NASA, right? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, and it was.
Well, it's always New York City, you know. So I'm asking myself, why the world would I want to live there? And listen, I love New York City. It's a great place to visit. Go up there for business quite a bit, but still.
All right. So a couple other sites I wanted to point out to people that I think would find helpful in their research is a guy named Maverick Star Reloaded.
Yep.
And Maverick Star Reloaded has been doing extensive research on the pole shift. And what I would say, Wayne, and maybe you'd agree, but I feel that as the Nemesis star system has been getting closer and closer with its planet Nibiru around it, that it has been having an impact on the planetary tilt, and it's had an impact on the magnetics of our planet.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and Maverick Star, the reason I want to point him out to my audience is he has done a wonderful job of documenting the pole shift, even though I think he's under the paradigm that this is a normal occurrence. Yeah, it's a normal occurrence, but it's only normal in the sense that we've got another big magnet coming through every 3,600 years. And so that's my thought on that.
Cause and effect, brother. Cause and effect.
Exactly right. You can't just have a pole shift without some kind of an outside force causing it, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Everything will stay in its same thermodynamics, right? Will continue in its same velocity and everything until a force acts upon it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, for a star that obviously has a much more complex makeup than a planet. I agree with you. I mean, I don't know how a pole shift would happen naturally unless there is, again, a cause that would make the effect.
And see, this is a great time to point out that even though Maverick Star probably, and I've never met him and I've never talked to him, but I've watched his videos. But if he and I already know we don't agree 100% on cause and effect here, okay? But that does not mean that his data still isn't valid and interesting and factual. And what I try to keep telling my viewers is, even though I come at this from a Christian perspective, and when you come at it from a spiritual perspective as well, we don't expect everybody to share our spiritual views. We don't expect everybody to share our scientific views. But you don't learn anything in science unless you try and fail and make mistakes and blunder and then learn something. And then, you guys, the scientific process isn't having a perfect picture every time or having a perfect idea every time. It's refining your vision of what's going on and making it clearer and clearer as you go.
Why is it that when we become adults that suddenly we lose all sense of common sense? Listen, I remember ninth grade chemistry, and I don't know, the teacher put me with, how you get lab partners, right, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
And I got this gal, and, anyway, the point was, it was like cats and dogs. But the good thing was, at the end of it, we did get an A on the project that we were on. But, right, we argued, and so remember that, folks.
I can remember doing, and you and I both, we've been through business background. So the other thing that I hate is when people try to pigeonhole me because I say I was a business person. I was in the military. I was a business person. I was a salesperson. I was an entrepreneur. I was a farmer. I have a lot of different backgrounds, okay? Sometimes I'll bring one or the other up, but that doesn't mean that that's what I am. I was a businessman for a while, and I can remember, Sam Walton, I worked for Walmart when Sam Walton was still alive. And I met Sam Walton, by the way. Wonderful man. I only have good things to say about him. I know that a lot of people would say he's part of the kind of the new American aristocracy and blah, 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 and his family, whatever. But I knew him I knew him personally, and I liked him. Anyway, he put us through a thing called Walmart Retail Institute, and we would get these whacked out professors that would try all kinds of new experiments. And one of them was doing this, taking all these strong district managers and managers like myself and others and putting us into groups and throwing us into these emergency scenarios where we had to manage together as a team through very, very complex challenges in a game, okay? By the second day of this, I swear to God, some of them were ready to kill each other. In fact, I had to get pulled out because I was about ready to start bawling like a baby because I was just so frustrated. And you guys, listen, I'm a baby. So anyway, I mean, it was emotionally charged and everything, and we forgot it was a game that we were playing, and we forgot totally that it was about, what was so interesting about it is how we unraveled so quickly from our professional demeanors and our manners and everything, and how we went to reptile brain so quickly in defending our own interests and defending our own positions and being right and all of that. I just want to say it, shit, okay? And what we learned, this very progressive professor, what we learned at the end of this is that how to truly work together is that you have to completely hang your ego up at the door. You have to be willing to be wrong to make progress. And WSO gets it wrong sometimes. But you know what? we are learning, and we're getting it right more than we get it wrong now, guys. And let me show you an example of this, is how we're learning and our perspectives are expanding. Wayne, can you see my screen?
I can.
So we had people that now, that are stuck on the idea that this system came within magnetic influence of our solar system as early now, at proof that we have now, as early as 2006.
What the evidence is showing.
The evidence is showing. And what we're showing here, and I'll have a link below. So basically, this is an article by Stephen Dutch, Natural and Applied Science at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. Whoop, 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 whoop. I just had to do a whoop, whoop for Wisconsin, because that's where I'm from. Anyway, so he went through and actually caught and wrote this article. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. He's a little bit smart-assy in here. But if you read the article, basically it boils down to this photograph. Why don't you go ahead and describe it, Wayne?
Yeah, well, December 6th, 2006. Now, if you're into numerology, you can get really wrapped around that one. But here's the point.
No, sorry.
But the Earth shifted. Now, we know this. Now, what everyone, this is the difference between being aware and not. And I dare say most of us back in 2006 at the Christmas season were even aware of what took place. But I can tell you, back in 2006, I was running a software company. There were adjustments that they had to make.
So you remember this? Wayne, come in, over.
North Star. It's why everything is out of kilter.
Wayne, you will not believe this. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
The last 2 minutes of what you were talking about was completely cut off by the enemy. Please go ahead.
Okay, so let's hit this again. So, folks, on December 6, 2006, and again, if you're into numerology, you can have fun with this one. I might even do a video with that. Fun with numerology. Anyway, the Earth changed. And Steve, this is the proof. We've known it. We've seen it. We've suspected it. And now we know that the Earth, in fact, has tilted. Now, the question is, why? How much? And again, when we talk about ecosystems such as planetary systems, remember, cause and effect can sometimes be a prolonged event or it can become a very condensed event. Steve, I think what we're seeing is a condensed event in the last 10 years of how much we're seeing in the jet streams, what we're seeing on the ground, etc. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And so what I'm saying is, when I first looked at this event, and I just want to give you an example of the evolutionary pattern that you and I both have been going through. I went from thinking that it just came into the solar system in 2015 to expanding my vision of this and seeing phenomenon from 2011 and 2012 that was very convincing, that showed me it was here as early as then. And now I'm seeing that this is the early sign, 2006, where we're actually starting to see the magnetic influence of this star, which we think is, what did we say? What do we think that the magnetic influence of the star was again? Wayne, was 65?
On this one, it's positive to negative.
No. What I'm saying is, there was somebody had theorized that the magnetic influence of Nemesis itself was 65 LD.
Yes.
I think. Okay. So at the point that the Earth gets grabbed and tilted backwards, again, if we follow along with the Nibiru theory that we worked on, that means that it would have been within 65 LD then.
Yeah, I mean, the question, I look at this, when we see the inclination, I mean, there it is.
Maybe AU2, I don't know. If it is, I'm sorry. If I get, again, my measurements wrong. If somebody knows what the actual data is, please let us know. But again, this would seem when we got locked into it magnetically. Yes,
I don't know if that's an AU or an LD. I don't know, but listen, Steve, we know that we're seeing this effect. And here's something I've often questioned on the Earth quiet effect. Ben brings it up quite often, and we see it. We see it time and time and time again. Is this a normal phenomenon? Or are we seeing something that's, cause, and again, cause and effect? Is there something else that's influencing this? I think that you and I are of the camp that there's something else influencing it.
That's right. I was taking a quick look at the lightning map there. Sorry about that. To see what we're seeing over North America right now, in case there's anything interesting. So we look at all kinds of different things, guys, and you'll see me just kind of paging around while we're talking. That's only because there's just so much going on right now. It's just unbelievable, really. I mean.
Yeah, and so I want to share a story that happened to me this morning. Steve, can you go back to that lightning map?
Oh, sure.
Because it has a little relationship to what I saw last night at 12:40, and go back to the United States. Let's get back to the United States. One would actually have the states on there. Which one?
Yeah, I'm saying the way you said that is so funny.
Yeah, a little bit over there. There we go. Okay. So I live in the Denver, Colorado area, and I am up finishing some work for my company that I had to do. 12:40 at night, just sitting on the couch watching Mythbusters, of all things, getting ready to go to bed. So at 12:40, across my screen, and I have Comcast, the emergency alert system went off. It said this was not a test. This is an emergency alert for the following areas. And what was really strange was that it was for West Virginia, Virginia, Delaware, and Maryland. And it was said that instructions would be forthcoming into which local agencies, and then it went blank. My screen went blank, and then it went back to Mythbusters.
Oh, man, that's spooky.
So, okay. And then what got my attention was the freaking fact that it says that this is not a test. That's what it came across in big yellow letters at the front of it. This is not a test. The emergency preparedness net whatever that is, the EBS, is now been activated for the following regions: West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware.
All right, so again, another heads up, guys. If you live in one of those areas, just heads up. It might be just a complete mistake. It might be a complete thing.
Did anyone else that was up here in Denver who has Comcast, were you up around 12:40? Did you see the same thing?
Yes, and please leave it in the comments below or email it to olson.stephen.d@gmail.com. All right, great. Thank you for that update, Wayne. I think that's very telling and interesting as well as we prepare. Apparently, our governments are preparing for whatever's coming our way. So here's the deal. I've got this pictures that I had stored up before I had to run off on this family business. By the way, everything's fine. My family is fine. I don't think I've ever been happier with my family because everybody's starting to accept now what I'm saying is real, and they're starting to cooperate with me a little bit more.
So you went from the what is it that they say in Big Bang? Anyway, you're coming back from the back crazy to sanity, right?
That's right. So anyway, I just wanted to see if there's anything interesting that I had, and we did see this phenomenon right before I left on the 17th and 18th. So in case you didn't see the FAA cams, I'll show you a couple quick images that we're still seeing this very, very very, very plain object in the sky.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'll have an update video tomorrow in addition to the show that we're doing. Wayne, I'll just do a 15-minute video for everybody so I can give them a view of all the different things.
Yeah. I'd like to see that myself.
So let's see what else we can grab out of the September 18th file before I ran off. We got some really good pictures from India. These are India pictures where they were actually postulating that they were seeing the Nemesis star behind the sun. And again, this is, I just think, a good photo study with no retouching. And they captured that over a several-day period.
You know, Steve, the more we study, the more information we have, and we have now Professor C, and we have others that are now stepping forward, academics. I've come to the conclusion, Steve, most of us would not recognize this system, no matter what the signs would look, because we wouldn't know what to be looking for.
That's exactly right. That's what I keep trying to go back to, that that phenomenon of cognitive dissonance, where people, if it's so far out like side of your worldview, that it's going to and you have to come in contact with that reality. You may not be able to even see something right in front of your face. That's scary to me.
It is true. It's very true.
Check this one out. Again, I just love this study that this Indian, a friend of our channel from India, had done for us. Wow. Wow.
You know, and there are, and by the way, whoever you are, thank you, and keep yourself safe. You know, I keep telling people this, even on my channel, and for the last 2 years, particularly, Steve, that whole Indian Ocean, Malaysia area in there, there's something going on. That there's something going on in that region of our globe that is impacting everything. So, folks, keep your heads up over there. Things are a little bit more fluid for you than it is over here.
Right. Now, Saturday we got the rotating orb going across the camera again, with the clouds in front of it.
Look at that. Look at that.
Lord. I mean, I could just go, look at this. This clearly is up in the sky, right? I mean, and it must be because they're not able to refract the light in Alaska for some reason. That's what we're starting to come up with, is that in order for them to stay over populated areas, they can't always focus on, the Great White North.
Well, you know, I'm thinking, if we, you know, what if you and I were to take a plane trip up there and we go out there? We might do that and actually go up there. I would lay you a steak dinner that we probably wouldn't see that.
Not unless we had a timed exposure, or a good.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if we were out in that tundra that it looked like up there, I don't know if we'd actually see that in the heavens.
Here's one that's interesting, because this, in that fact that it was from the United States, and they from the lower 48, and they could see the orb too.
Well, that's compelling. Now, where did this come from?
I believe this is, I'm just going to say Middle West.
Okay.
United States.
Wow.
Perfect
Very
orb.
good picture. Look at that. And you can actually do the comparison on the lens flare and the the streak of light that shouldn't be there.
Correct. The streak of light.
Just saying. You know, the lens flares these days now have contrails behind them. They now have, plasma. Look at that. There you go. That's what we're talking about.
Nah, there's nothing going on, man.
Move on.
Yeah, please, just don't pay attention to any of this. Just
well done, whoever took that. Bravo.
I don't even know what this is.
Is that a fire?
I don't know. Let's check it.
I think that's a fire. Or what is that?
I don't know. Sometimes I have pictures, I don't even know what they are.
No, that's a cloud. Oh, wow. Look at that.
From Sandar Shelf.
Can you blow those up, Steve? Don't do that. Blow them up.
Well, I want to get to one like this one.
The viewers are demanding close-ups. Look at that, folks. Wow. Look at that.
Unbelievable.
Send me some of these stills.
I will. I'm sorry. I didn't even know I had them in my archive, so I'm going through, guys. And just so you all know, when I get back from a trip, it usually takes me about 4 days to dig out. So if I don't write you back right away, it's only because, guys, that I'm catching up on stuff.
Blow that one up, Steve. Blow that one right there. Yeah. Let's see that.
Yep.
Look at that. Well, that's disturbing.
Oh. Yeah, like you never know what you're going to see when you get on my channel, huh?
Yeah. Last time I had to go buy a new system.
Yeah, sorry about that spike, man. And then here's the one I wanted to show from Delhi. This is actually a blood moon that they were capturing as well. I'm sorry, the sun turning a very blood red color is what I meant to say. And here's what it looked like during the day.
Wow.
That could just be from pollution,
Well, I
certainly.
was going to say, but you know, here's the deal. Okay, so that could be ozone. I get that, but you also get a clear point at the sky above that. So, but still, how interesting.
You know, so I just wanted to turn people onto a couple of those pictures. Be looking for the videos that we're going to be doing with Jeff P. here and talking about his fascinating discoveries. Wayne, thank you for being a guest again. It's been fun working with you, and I can't wait to do our interview tonight. And we will update you if there's anything that happens around this asteroid or anything that any news like that. We'll put up a short 2-minute clip for you if we learn anything new, just so you all know. So have a great afternoon, everybody.
You too, Steve. Take care, buddy.